Perfect. All right, I'm going to have you set up exactly like this. We're going to keep this leg bent here. We are going to start with the arm cuff and then the leg cuff. Okay. Arm cuff, super easy to put on. The leg cuff, we are going to add in our adhesive pads here so it doesn't slide down your thigh when we get exercising. Okay. We want it to be tight, but we don't want it to be too tight that it feels like the circulation's being cut off, because we're going to add a little bit more restriction with the cooled water that comes in. For the leg cuffs, we want to try to get it up as close to the groin as possible. So that's why we keep this leg bent. We're going to slide the cuff up as high as we can, and then we're going to Velcro you in. Have you done any blood flow restricted exercises in the past? Okay. So you're familiar with the concept of blood flow restriction, but with the Vasper, we're also getting the added benefit of the cooling technology. So the cooling technology is going to prevent that blood shunting, which is going to keep all of the blood deep in those muscle bellies. So we'll slide this. Have you ever heard of Game Ready? So Game Ready is something that they use in more in an athletic training kind of realm, sport specific, but it is essentially a cooled compression system. So the guy who invented this was also the inventor of Game Ready, which is why we have all these tubes and all of the compression coming in. All right. Let's give a couple passes here and make sure nothing's sliding off. All right, so this is going to come around from behind and then we'll clasp in the front.
And that brings cold water in it as well?
This is going to bring cold water as well, so really trying to cool that central nervous system here.
All right, Victoria, so now that we got you all strapped in, we have 4 different levels that we can typically run for the Vasper: the introductory, the rehab and recovery, the personal fitness, and the athletic performance. All of the protocols for the workout stay the same. The thing that changes is just the intensity and the wattage. So we're going to start you off on the rehab and recovery today. We're going to do the Super 6 workout, which is going to be a 9-minute warm-up with 6 30-second sprints with a 90-second rest. You can follow along here on the image here. You see that's your warm-up portion, and then you have your 6 rounds of sprints. So stay stationary here for the time being. You can see we're waiting for the cuffs to pressurize. You should be starting to feel the arms and the legs both fill up with water and the compression. So we'll wait for that red bar going across the screen there to finish doing its thing before we get started. And then you'll see on the left here, we have the arm pressure and the leg pressure of the machine as well. So we can manipulate that up and down. And then over here, the level, just like any standard exercise equipment, is going to be the resistance profile. So during the workout itself, you see these 2 yellow lines on the screen. That is what you're going to want to be staying in between the workout. So you'll see a red line that's going to be your power output. If you're below the line, you want to speed it up. If you're going too hard, you're going to want to slow it down a little bit. So cuffs are almost ready pressurizing. We have that red line still doing its thing. Might be waiting for the arms to come through. Okay, great. We'll go ahead and get started. Grab your hands on the handles and let's get rocking. Perfect. Yep, so bring it down just a little bit. Yeah, awesome. And so one of my favorite things about this workout is that there's virtually no nervous system taxing and there's no real cardiovascular demand. So we typically use the Vasper to enhance recovery and enhance performance. So the general recommendation is to do this workout at least 2 times a week to get the best benefits. And we typically recommend doing this be right before a workout or right after. So as a warm up for a workout or a cool down. How's it feeling for you so far?
Very, very different.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like the pull and compression are really a sensation I've never experienced before with exercise. It's really neat.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier the cooling aspect helps with blood shunting, so it keeps the muscle deep inside the muscle belly. but it's also just going to help with some systemic inflammation as well. So it's just going to keep things a little bit more relaxed.
It feels easier with the cold.
Yeah, right?
Makes it more pleasant.
For sure. Nice. Go ahead and keep trying to drive through those heels too. So try to keep that foot flat on that pedal as best you can. Nice. And then we also see, just like in the injury rehab world, blood flow restriction cuffs just by themselves are used widely just to help rehab tendons, ligaments, and muscles. So if we have somebody coming in with an elbow pain or a shoulder pain, we might ask them to use a little bit more of the arms and maybe let the legs take less of the load. If you have somebody with ankle, knee, hip pain, maybe we're going to rely a little bit more on the lower extremities and less on the upper extremities.
So you're saying that this increases human growth hormone and affects your hormones positively?
Yeah, absolutely. So just from studies of doing this 2 times a week for 8 weeks, we saw a huge increase in testosterone and growth hormone. So anyone that's looking to build strength, build muscle, recover better, lower stress, sleep better, this is going to be hugely beneficial for them.
Nice. It's like a jackknife of wellness here.
Yeah, right? And the Vasper specifically has become really huge in professional sports as well. So the NFL teams are having these in these facilities. A lot of NBA teams and hockey facilities are coming around with getting these in their facilities too. We know a couple athletes that actually have these in their homes as well. So the best part about it too is it's so efficient. Just getting strapped in takes a couple minutes. The workout itself is 21 minutes in total. And the slogan that they promote on their website is, you get the effects of a 2 or 3 hour interval training workout in just 21 minutes.
Without breaking a sweat.
I know, right? Yeah, with the cooling really keeps your body temperature down. So it really does help promote recovery a lot as well.
Like that. You need to shower if you're doing this on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Get a quick workout in.
Totally.
Nice.
Yeah. Restriction cuffs just by themselves are used widely just to help rehab tendons, ligaments, and muscles. So if we have somebody coming in with an elbow. So it's funny, typically what I will feel when I do this is after the first and second sprint, it's actually the cool down portion that you get the most burn.
Oh, really?
It almost feels like you're walking through quicksand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you bring it down almost to like an immediate rest, so you're moving very, very slowly. So nice. Yeah, and then like I mentioned, we had you on the second level, so the rehab and recovery. So, one of my other favorite things about this is it is so accessible. It's the buildup of the machine is very similar to like a seated elliptical, right? Very easy to get in and out of. The range of motion required at the joints is very low, and we prescribe that this is really an addition to.
Nice.
Yeah.
One can see how this would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
To my routine.
Yeah. Nice job.
And the exercise together, if there's like a big metabolic benefit.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I mean, what we do know is that this is going to have a lot of a metabolic reset for you. So not necessarily burning a ton of calories, but helping to kind of reset your metabolism. Yeah. All right. So we got that sprint coming up in 5 seconds. So you'll see 2 new yellow lines there, new output to follow along with. And let's get it. Sprint time. Yep. Great job. Keep that output up high. Push and pull with those arms, driving hard through those heels. Nice, good. Don't let that power output drop. Keep this up. Halfway. Great job. Keep pushing. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Great job. Bring it way down so you see those new yellow lines. I like to rely a little bit more on the arms than the legs here, just during that rest portion. So you can see we're back down at 3. So during your warm-up portion, you were at 4 level with the resistance. During the sprint, it brought you all the way up to 6. So that change in resistance is part of what's going to bring in a lot of that lactic acid, that change in external load and power output required. And then here, bringing you all the way down to 3 and really slowing the speed requirement down. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. We know that's not the best thing for muscle growth and strength growth, right? You got to have room to recover, room for the stimulus to do what it wants to do.
The ATP stores back.
Yep, exactly.
That's nice.
Exactly. Great, we got round 2 coming up in 15 seconds. It's 21 minutes, there's a lot of rest in between. All right, and let's go, round 2. Push, 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 push. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Great job.
Thank you.
Halfway, keep pushing. Love it, 10 seconds. Nice. 3, 2, and relax. Bring it way down. Nice, almost to non-moving. Let those muscles recover.
Makes it so much easier with the cold.
Yeah, right? It feels really nice too.
It does.
So since Vasper is a little bit of a newer technology, we don't have a ton of data and research on it as we would some of our other interventions. A lot of the research we have in regards to the Vasper is extrapolated off of data that uses the concept of blood flow restriction as well as cooled exercise. The area where we do have a lot of data and where the data excels is in the testosterone production specifically. So this has been studied in special forces.
Easy to measure.
Easy to measure, you know, people who have poor recovery, poor sleep, they're putting the body through the ringer every single day. And that's going to take a toll on the testosterone. And what we're seeing in those studies is that the Vasper alone is going to help improve their recovery, but it's also going to significantly increase their testosterone and growth hormone production to a statistically significant percentage, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And anecdotally, they just feel 100% better.
Anecdotally, everybody's feeling a lot better, moving a lot better, tending to have a little bit more energy. I implore you to listen to what George Kittle has to say about it. He has some quite interesting ideas on the Vasper. All right, last sprint here, just 30 seconds of all-out effort. Oh, actually, bring it down a little bit. You're too strong for this machine. All right, so after we finish this sprint, you're almost there. It's gonna drop right back down. We've got about 7 seconds left here. Push through it. And into that recovery mode. So bring it way, way down. Try to let those arms take over. You've got about a 90-second recovery right here. After we finish the recovery portion of this, the cuffs will begin to depressurize. During that, you will experience probably some itchiness.
Yeah.
The itchiness is that blood coming back up to the surface. What is also happening kind of behind the scenes is as those cuffs depressurize, they are releasing all of the metabolites that we've trapped in there with the compression. When those metabolites are released, it is going to be at a significantly higher amount than if you were letting them go throughout the entire exercise. So it's kind of like opening the floodgates of those metabolites. Once the floodgates are open, you are going to get a much more significant spike or increase in that anabolic hormone production due to the significant increase in that metabolite release. In addition to this, some things you may want to keep an eye out for this evening is just check in with your nervous system and see how the nervous system's feeling. In addition to the increased testosterone and growth hormone production, there are studies that demonstrate that this can reduce nighttime cortisol by up to 47%.
We all need that.
Everybody needs that. And that is going to be synergistic with the increased testosterone. So if we can get that cortisol low and if we can get people sleeping, the testosterone and growth hormone are going to be able to do their job much more effectively with that deep sleep.
Higher HRV too.
Higher HRV, better recovery.
Awesome.
All right.